You are now tuned in to The Gifted Gab.
I'm sick. Thanks everyone for tuning in to a new episode. I have the homie Syl in. We got into a lot about entrepreneurship, networking, the importance of having a great environment around you. We also got into a lot of aspects of taking yourself serious, as well as the business that you're starting serious, and the importance of confidence as well too. What else am I missing? I think that's.
You hit
think
it.
I
Confidence.
hit right on the
people
nose,
you're
innit?
around.
Yeah, we here.
On the
we
nose,
here.
innit?
Yeah, so we here. We got a lot going on this episode, so stay ticked on to the ride. We here. All right. Oh man, Sylvie, what's going on? What's up?
I'm vibing.
You're
living
vibing.
life.
Shit, you're here. Summer's here.
Oh,
Sun's
we're
out.
outside.
We're outside.
Sun is very out today, actually.
Isn't there a heat wave going on? A heat warning?
I'm here for it.
You're here for heat warnings.
I don't know if that's like bad, like global warming and whatever, but it's a fun time for now.
Honestly, it's good to see like everyone outside though.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of the events, like every day there's something going on.
It's kind of overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming.
It's like, what are you doing today? Well, I don't know. I heard this.
Yeah.
Too many options.
Too many options. My bed misses me sometimes.
Oh, I know. You had the worst. I thought I was bad with sleep.
Yo, nah. Yo, don't get me started on that.
Seriously.
It just
Girls
also
not
comes my
looking
job
good.
too, though. It's my job too. Like I
Yeah.
finish at like late, like at 12 and shit.
But then you go out after.
Oh my gosh, and that's where the issue comes from. I go out, come
This
back.
is a red talk table. And
This is a red talk table.
This is all about your issues.
It's a brown
today.
talk table actually, but we can call it red as for now.
For now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but all in general, like, I mean, we went through 2.5 years of the pandemic, so it's finally good to see people going out. I know, like, I think 2 weeks ago, Dundas West Fest. That was a big thing
insane.
that's going on.
Yeah.
You had your own vendor there. That was big.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
That was honestly really cool. Honestly, to see that many people outside. I've never went to Dundas West Fest before or heard of it before. But it was really, really cool to see everyone, like, support each other. So I got the opportunity through Forky. We were outside of Libertine. And even just after I was doing people's teeth, just people dancing, vibing, eating, bumping into so many people you haven't seen in forever. And it was really cool because I was doing people's teeth, and then people were looking like, what is that? I'm like,
Yeah.
I want it. And, like,
Yeah.
also, like, as people are drinking, like, they're like, fuck it, I'm
Yeah,
going to do it
let me
too.
get a
Like,
sip, yeah.
yeah. So it was really, really cool. Like, it was way bigger than I expected.
Mm.
It was
And
amazing.
that's the best type of marketing, word of mouth.
Yeah.
People, not even word of mouth, word of sights, or they're
Literally.
seeing it literally.
You're talking to someone
firsthand.
like, wait, what is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, what is that? You know what I mean? Oh, who did that for you?
It was super cool. Because honestly, I was worried I didn't do, like, enough marketing before. It was kind of last minute for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't know I was going to be there. I didn't know what my setup was looking like. I was like, oh, I didn't bring enough signs, or I didn't do whatever. But it was such a great turnout just because people see it and then they love it and then support, and then they're getting their friend to do it too. Like, it was super cool.
So if you do me one quick favor, just tilt the mic a little bit down. It's my fault.
This way?
Like just the actual, like the physical mic. Yeah.
This way.
Yeah, perfect.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, that's big. I mean, even coming and seeing you, like you're packed, you're busy.
Yeah,
You
it
know what
got
I
a
mean?
little
It was-
overwhelming at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even get the chance to, like,
Yeah,
talk to
you
you.
in the chat, but
It was
it's
just like
soft.
back to back. They're like, me next, and I was like, okay.
It's business though. It's
Yeah, it
business
was cool. I'm so grateful. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
you talking about that story about that guy who was like trying to pay like 4 times the price because you were about to close up. He's
Yes,
like, yeah,
it was already midnight. I put everything in my car, and we're getting ready to go inside Libertine. I'm like, finally get to turn up, relax, like, you know. And he's like, can I do it? It was like Saturday. He was like, can you do it for me? I was like, come back tomorrow. I'm here all day tomorrow. He's like, no, I want it right now. I'll pay you like anything, whatever. And I was like, okay. But I was like, well, everything's in my car. He's like, I'll walk with you. Don't worry, whatever. I'm like, cool. And we actually had such a great conversation too. Like, I love meeting people. And then he found out I was Egyptian. He was Egyptian too. We like bonded, did it for him. He was asking how I started, like had such a good conversation. And like, he tipped me so generously. And I was like, wow, like you didn't have to do that.
I think people can see value in good conversation and in being genuine. Because I've known you for probably like two years now, year and a bit. And I feel like every conversation we had has been genuine. You're not trying to be someone else. You're not trying to put on a facade. And people recognize that. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And I think that takes you further than ever trying to be like something you're not.
Yeah.
You know, so now starting something like Sylvismiles, I wanted to go into like where did it even start from? Where did that idea even come from?
Yeah, honestly, way back, it was like, I want to say 2017.
Yeah.
I was in Egypt and I like family vacation, and I seen it on someone there. and I wanted to get it done. It was near the end of my trip, and I couldn't really like find anyone. So I came back to Toronto. At the time, no one in Toronto was doing it. Now there's like a couple more that are doing it, not just me. But the reason I started it was because like I wanted to get it done, and I couldn't find anyone doing it. So my dentist is a family friend. Like, she's also Egyptian and whatnot. And so I kind of just trained with her. She taught me everything. I bought all the supplies. And I was like, okay, like, instead of just doing it for myself, since no one's doing it, like, why not make it a thing? And it was hard at first because it's like I'm marketing something that people don't know exists.
It's brand new.
Yeah, like with lashes, nails, like, you know, like girls are already asking for it. Where is it? Where'd you get yours done? Whatever. But it's like people didn't know about it at all. And so, yeah, I started doing it outside of GFC where I was working.
Yeah,
like
shout out to GFC, man.
Yeah.
Shit. Some guys over there, yeah. I mean, you know.
Honestly, that changed everything for me, too, because I was living in, like, a small town my whole life, like, in the suburbs, and then... Yeah. Okay, I live in a pretty middle of nowhere.
Hey, Aurora's not too bad.
Oh, God, you have to expose
Aurora's
me.
not too bad. I'm exposing your shit right now. Are you
Mr.
kidding me?
Burlington. Anyway.
Are you kidding me? Saga City's in here. But
whatever.
Yeah, no, that change from Aurora to being downtown, you're seeing a completely different crowd.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't even know, like, entrepreneurship was a thing. Like, entrepreneurship, I used to think, like, Steve Jobs, like, the biggest of the biggest, like, so far out of reach, until I started working for Fresh. And this guy's like, yeah, I just got back from China, going to Paris tomorrow. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's possible? Like, yeah, I just thought there's, and then even just working there, the people that would come in, like, Fudge would be like, oh, do you know who that is? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, she styles, like, all these artist music videos. And I was like, I didn't even know stylist was a thing. Like, I was getting to see, like, this is so doable, and so many people are doing it, and people that are within my reach. So it was like, why can't I?
There's nothing stopping you.
Yeah.
Really. You know what I mean?
Because otherwise I would have just like, okay, I can't find the service and that's it. But being around so much entrepreneurship, I think that's what like got me into it.
You're around a bunch of, like you said, entrepreneurship, but a bunch of creators, a bunch of innovators that are like willing to push the envelope. I think something like Sylvismiles, and to this day I still haven't got mine yet. I know.
I think that's rude.
I know. I'm trying to listen, man. I'm trying to.
You're low-key a hater.
That's crazy. That is nuts. That's what we're doing now on my platform. That's crazy. So but I think to this day, that's something that I haven't seen. I'll be honest, I haven't seen anyone else do it. You're going into a market that hasn't been, there's not a lot of supply with it. You're one of the only people that are doing what you're doing.
Because I feel like there's definitely grills everywhere.
There's grills everywhere.
But it's like the perfect, you know, if grills are too much, I don't know, it's like it's a bit more subtle.
Yeah. It's subtle. It's something you can flex off of, but like it's like it's not doing too much.
It's so funny. I had so many like corporate people done this. Like, I have work on Monday. Like, can we do a small one at the bottom or way in the back?
You can get away with it at work and get away with it at the family dinners. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Grandma won't get mad.
Exactly. If she doesn't, it'll fall off. It'll fall off.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Trust me. It's temporary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's something that's so cool about your business. But you've also did it on some very, very pronounced people in the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fellow NBA players, creators, artists. Like, talk about that experience, because do you feel... I always wonder, like, when I have podcasts and I bring people on that are, you know, creators, but if I brought on someone like, for instance, like Drake.
Yeah.
There's a difference in tone of how the conversation would go.
Right.
Do you feel like if you were to bring on someone that's at a higher stature compared to the normal people you dealt with, do you feel like there's a difference in how you go about that role or how you go about doing what you're doing? Like, is there a difference there? Do you feel like there's more pressure? Like, honestly,
especially because I'm so close to like their face and like their mouth, I'm like so like nervous. But honestly, I feel like obviously they just care that like you don't mess up their teeth or anything like that. But everyone I've dealt with has been so genuine and like so supportive, and it's actually always been through a friend. So it's so wild to realize like these people that are higher up are just one person away from you, because that's how it got to me. So of course I would like DM people, see who would answer and whatnot, but a friend would have it and like she'd be serving and then this person asks her for it and I'm like, oh, okay, amazing. And so yeah, they were always so dope, so generous. Like, it was really, really cool, honestly. Yeah,
it's a small world.
Yeah. Toronto
it's
especially.
Actually very scary.
Yeah.
It's getting scary
anyone
now.
You think is like incredible or like, you know, is one person away from you. Your idol is one person away from you.
That's a fact. That's
crazy.
Fact. That might have to be the name of this episode. One person away. Yeah, no, because I think, you know, your network is everything.
Exactly.
Your marketing is everything, right? And I feel like you've done a great job of both.
Honestly, yeah, I didn't know, like, I don't have a background in marketing. I didn't know anything about it really. But I think I had actually one of the first, like, influencers I done. She's now, like, a really amazing model, Malika Terry. I remember, like, sitting in her house for hours after, and she was just, like, guiding me, giving me tips, talking to me. Even Maria, who has her own clothing line now in New York, like, she was always talking to me. I remember talking with her about her clothing line before she started it. And so it was really cool to get insight from these people after. They didn't just see us like, okay, it's just a service and, like, leave. But yeah, so I remember talking with these people, and they were kind of teaching me a bit about marketing, and they were like, it's really good what you're doing now, getting influencers. I think that's kind of what got me the following in the beginning, or like kind of a platform in Toronto, was just doing these kind of people, posting them. They would share it. They were always so nice about that. And then honestly, my own network, in the sense of, like, when I was in York for school, I remember I would, like, set up in a room like this, like, literally would go to school, not even go to class, and just set up in a room and just do people's teeth. And then eventually there was a salon in York Lanes, if you know, you know. And I would do it out of there. So people would get their nails done, hair done, all that stuff. And I would just give them, like, a percentage, and I was just chilling in that room. So most of the time I went to school, like, I wasn't in class. But I was making money. And, like, it was really cool because York is huge. York is huge. And so everyone was telling people, oh, yeah, go to York Lane. She's there, blah, blah, blah. Or I would do someone, they go to class, come back right after with 3 other people in class. Like, that's it was crazy. Insane, yeah.
You went to school. What did you major in school?
Psychology.
Psychology.
Yeah.
You went to school in psychology, but actually majored in marketing.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You started your own hustle at school.
Yeah. No, it's so funny it's honestly so cute when I bump into people from school and, like, yo, I remember you were doing this at a Vanier. Like, it was so funny.
That's nuts. And now you're here with Sylvismiles. You just had an event at Dundas West Fest. Mm-hmm. What type of things do you want to see moving forward? Because I know we talked a lot about that.
Yeah. And honestly, I think I want to go more into doing events. So rather than just one-on-one with people, if I get, like, booked to do an evening, I actually have an event next week as well.
Where?
At AMPM.
Oh my God.
So you already know you're there. More tequila. And at Bar Poet. So Saturday and Sunday you should be free.
Yo, honestly, Bar Poet is a vibe. Yeah. I will not. The pizza there I had was pretty tough.
Really good. And
it's
you
not
add honey?
Ooh.
We're doing that Saturday.
For, like, the sweetness, right?
Yeah. Sweet and salty is perfect.
You might have done something. Yo, there's actually a lot of, like, I've been growing, like, Italians have really been growing on me. Italian food. There's a spot by my area I tried recently. It was okay. It wasn't too bad. But I'm trying to explore more areas in the city. There's that one place on King.
There's too many.
We went to where I got the pizza. What's the name called? Frig.
When did we get? Oh,
that pizza.
Oh.
Yeah, that place is
Parlor.
That place is really amazing. Good. Shout out to them. But how did we get to pizza again?
Okay, Bar Poet. I'm having an event there. But yes, back to what I was saying. Yes. I do want to go more into doing events. And then eventually down the line kind of switch from being a service to more of a product. So that's kind of what I'm working on now, where I'd be selling kind of like kits and whatnot. And that way my reach is global rather than just people I can meet in Toronto. But I would love to even do events like in the States, like just kind of travel and do these kind of events, I think.
Because at that point, you're not restricted by just labor. You don't have to be working on it and make money. You can be
online orders, everything. And I think that's more very, very marketing based.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of just teaching myself.
So how would these kits look like? What's your idea for them? Yeah,
so it'd be more temporary. So I think I would still offer services for people that want it to last longer.
Yeah, that's smart.
But yeah, they'd be temporary. You could do it yourself. It'll obviously come with, like, a manual. And I'm thinking of having different sorts of kits. Like, there's different designs, right? So the most basic one is just like small, medium, large, clear crystal. And then there's, like, butterflies you could do. You could do cherry, flower, things like that. So different kinds of like more premium packages. But yeah, I do want it to be branded kind of luxuriously, like really good packaging, really well made. That's why I've been really taking my time with it, even though I've had the idea for a while.
You have to though, yeah.
But yeah, I want it to be like, you'll see.
When it comes, you want it to know that you put your everything into.
Yeah, because I've actually seen some kits. I've ordered some myself, like off Etsy, and it's just, you could tell the manual's like printed at home, folded, 2 or 3, like just in a Ziploc, like, you know what I mean? But I want it to be an experience as well.
You hit it right on the nose. There's an experience. That's what I think really separates a lot of brands from different brands, is the experience.
Especially with luxury brands.
Yes. I think experiences and storytelling. A lot of times when we see in the media now and different brands in the city, you know, here at the Gifted Gab, we're all about storytelling, right? What we want to do is create experiences for people, but have a narrative for different stories. You know, I'm bringing you on, you're telling your story. I'm bringing different people on, we're telling our story. But it's different when you just have brands that come out and just drop clothing with no context, no story, no meaning behind what they're doing, and expect it to hit, expect it to sell.
I think that's like the main thing in marketing too, is it has to connect. You have to know your target audience and then connect with them on a personal level, not just, here's tooth crystals, why? One thing for me is that I want every kind of person to be confident in their smile. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't have white teeth, or like it's crooked or whatever, but that's what I always post, like people who have gaps, like if you're missing a tooth, who cares? Like just to make them confident in their smile. And I think that's like the most important thing for my brand. But I've learned that through Get Fresh as well, just by being there, right? Like their brand stands for something. They do so much for Toronto. They do so much for the Black community. Like he connects on a different level that's way deeper than just clothes.
It's not even about the clothes.
Yeah, it's deeper than that.
It's not
100%.
about the clothes,
Yeah. People will just buy the clothes out of support for like what the brand stands for.
And what it means to them, how it makes them feel.
Yeah.
Like with certain garments, when you put on certain garments, it's like, okay,
you're like, no, you can't talk to me anymore.
You can't talk to me.
Price went up.
What do you mean?
Immediately.
Please.
So when people put the crystal in their teeth, they're like, oh, no one, I'm always going to be smiling.
Yeah.
I love that too when you do it for them and you show them that they're so excited.
They just do anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's why naturally they're gonna tell their friends. It's free promo. Like,
it's free
because they want to. I don't even ask. Like they just love it. They feel confident in it. They love to show it off. Like that's the best feeling.
The product markets itself.
Yeah,
that's one of the best forms of advertising, man.
Yeah,
is the product marketing itself. You don't have to do any work after that. It literally just you just do it. Okay, do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want to talk to you about the importance of marketing and networking, because as you said, you've built yourself a brand throughout the years to what it is now at Sylvismiles. How important has the value of making these connections, of being outside like we are right now, been to you and your brand now?
Honestly, it's made the biggest difference. Even for me to get Dundas West Fest was by going to multiple events, hooding everything at Libertine, meeting Forky through events and just turning up together. And then having that conversation, having meetings, and like, oh, this is actually what I do, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I feel like it'd be so different than let's say you DM someone for opportunity, but it's like having fun together. And like, that kind of brings down a barrier where, you're drinking together. Then they're like, okay, you're cool. You know, you get to know each other. And that's brought me so many opportunities naturally. Even just my friend who was serving and got me these other clients, like, even just by being in Get Fresh while it was open, meeting a lot of people. And it's all about, you need to be confident in yourself. Because if I tell people like, oh yeah, like I kind of do this thing on the side, like Fresh and Fudge kind of pushed it in me to be, they were always promoting me. Anytime someone came in, they're like, oh yeah, you know what Sylvie does, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, like, don't worry about it. Yeah. But like, because I was like 17 and really young and like shy. But the more confident I was in myself, and like you said, just being genuine, a conversation ends up to an event years down the line, or
to an opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think that's huge with what you're doing, right? Yeah. And you're surrounded by good people. You know, I had this conversation before about the environments that you're in. Yeah. You wouldn't have done that in a
Whatever.
No, but honestly, all jokes aside, like on a serious note, you wouldn't have done that.
100%.
I think your environment is one of the most important things about
how I think the best thing I ever did for myself was to change that environment very early on. Like I was just interested in fashion design. So I started at GFC as a co-op. Actually, I asked my high school teacher to do a co-op downtown, which would have to be like a whole semester, like 4 credits. So in that case, I had to take classes in the summer. To like kind of finish all the prerequisites early. And then my last semester of high school, I was like, I just want to be downtown, anything related to fashion. So she got me at like a dress store on the same street, and I really was not enjoying it. And so during like my lunch break or whatever, I was just like walking around exploring the city. I'm never really downtown. Walk into GFC, even though it's like a men's store. And they're saying, yeah, we make everything in-house, this, and that. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, could I just kind of intern here? It's free labor. I just want to learn, like, whatever. He was like, yeah. Completely forgets about me. I tell my teacher, like, I made it seem like I got it in the bag. I'm like, yeah, like this really cool spot, blah, blah, blah. My teacher shows up. I think she called them first. And then, yeah, she's like, Sylvie's going to start on Monday. And he's like, who? And she's like, yeah, the co-op student from Aurora. He's like, oh, yeah. Till this day, Fudge always tells me, he's like, if your teacher didn't press it, you wouldn't have been in the room. Like, it was so funny. But he was like, okay, like, whatever, she's a student, it's free labor. At the time, I'm like, it's a streetwear for men, and I'm just like this little girl, like, showing up in skirts and dresses. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so from being 17 in high school, putting myself in Queen Street, which at the time was way busier than it is now, sure. I think that changed everything for me.
Before the pandemic, hands down.
Yeah.
For sure. How so you're talking about an experience stepping into a space that's predominantly men.
Yeah.
It's a men's clothing brand. Although they do have women's. I guess not women's, but clothing that women can wear.
Yeah, unisex for sure.
How was that like what was going through your mind at that time?
I was so shy. I would honestly do like the basement work, and they try to get me into sales, which I'm really, really grateful because like it shaped my personality now to be way more confident and outgoing. But also they were men that were like 10 years older than me, 15 years older than me. There's so many funny stories, honestly. But yeah, like it was really interesting. I was really shy, but it just got me to be comfortable. And like once I understood the like product knowledge and was able to talk on that, and then I just applied the same thing to Sylvismiles. Yeah. Understanding what I'm talking about and then just presenting it confidently and learning sales, I think was a huge skill for me.
What type of things are you learning in there? What do you mean by that? More knowing how to articulate yourself, knowing how to sell a product, knowing how to market it?
Both for sure. Even honestly, the psychology behind it too. Like people can tell when you're trying to sell to them, right? Where you're just trying to upsell, yeah, grab this. But there was actually one person in particular too, like he was always a big spender, but we were always just honest. It wasn't even like a psychology thing of like, oh, manipulate them to buy things. We were just genuine. But we'd be like, honestly, you don't need this. Like, you were here last week and you bought something super similar. You don't really need it. And when you talk to people in a way where you're genuine, and then they would leave it, come back later, buy it anyways, or like, I don't know. I feel like I just learned a lot about understanding what each person's needs are when they walk in.
Yeah.
And then being able to find that for them.
And catering to that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's exactly what you're doing with Sylvie. Because there's a lot of things, I'm guessing, obviously I haven't done it yet, but I'm guessing, you talk to your clients. You say, okay, what type of things do you want?
Yeah.
That might not look good with that, but hey, I got a better thing for you.
Exactly.
Right here,
they might think they know what they want.
Yeah.
But like even just gauging their personality, I'm like, you know what, you would really like this. Yeah. And they trust me.
What's the wildest piece you've done so far?
Okay, so I've done like this one person did like a full tooth on both sides, and then like from canine to canine at the bottom. This was when I was in York. It was insane. This was like your earlier stages. I have to find a picture. Yeah. And I had never done a full tooth before, but they were just like so like, yeah, just fill the whole thing.
So
I was
just
like,
diamonds on each, like.
It took me so much time. Yeah.
How long? what was going through your head at the time?
And they're really, really, really tiny too, to do like a full tooth. But that's the thing too. Whenever I try something new, I just do it confidently.
You have to. Yeah. Like I was talking with my homie. Confidence is everything. I feel
100%.
like, and even meeting before, I kind of got that energy from you of that confidence. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, I could tell. Like you're obviously very outgoing. You're friendly. You're a great networker. But I can sense that sense of confidence from you. It's organic. Like you're not faking anything. Because
no one's gonna really believe in you or your product if
you don't even believe yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could have some friends that say, yo, you can go far, but if you don't even believe in yourself, that shit will go nowhere. Literally nowhere. And we've had conversations about that, and just I love to see what you're doing with Sylvismiles right now, because the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Fuck it, not even the sky, the galaxy is the limit, because you're in a market, like I said, that does not have a lot of demand. Or not demand, sorry, a lot of supply. There's a lot of people that want this thing, but there's not a lot of other competitors, right?
That's the thing, too. I remember, honestly, in the beginning, when I was, like, 17 starting at York, I was so driven where I was, like, doing school. I'd leave class, go to the salon, do a couple clients, transit all the way to get fresh, sometimes come back to my evening classes. Like I was so motivated and always fit clients in no matter what, whether it was missing class or after work from GFC, closing the shop, going back to York, doing all these missions. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like, I don't know if it was coincidence that it was during the pandemic or just through that, but I kind of made Sylvismiles like a side thing and like kind of put it on the back burner, put it on the shelf. People would ask me and I'm like, yeah, like people hit me up, I'll do it. I wasn't promoting it for the longest time. Like, you know, I was trying to just get like a regular
9 to
job,
5,
with more security. And it was so funny. I was having this conversation with my friend like a couple of days ago where I feel like I was almost pushed, like cornered into making this a thing again.
Yeah.
And then that's when all these events started coming. That I think I had my own event at Apartment and then Dundas West Fest.
Yes.
And then 2 events next weekend without me really trying. And I kind of find myself in a situation where this is now my only source of income. Like the 9 to 5, which I thought was going to be stable, like wasn't, like just things going on in my personal life. Yeah. And so I'm really grateful for my friends that actually like push me and believe me. And they're like, yo, why don't you do this? Like, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? I'll connect you to this person. Like, and just bringing all of this to life for me, because that motivation kind of died down for the longest time. And I was like, oh, it'd be fun just as a side hustle.
Yeah. But no, that could be your main thing.
Yeah.
And I know you're seeing it now.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been talking about before, which is your environment. Your environment's everything. These people that you have, your network that you have are really pushing you to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's value in that. Speaking on your events that you have going on next week, I'm pretty sure during the pandemic, you never thought you'd be there.
100%. Let alone, like, I've never been to a club or a bar and, like, leave with something. Like, a vendor where you actually leave with something.
You normally lose something.
Yeah, a lot of things.
More than just money.
Yeah, for
some
sure.
People lose their pride. Some people lose their dignity. Some people lose their consciousness.
A lot.
Others leave with a new diamond in their teeth.
Right.
So that's dope.
It was never something I had seen before to like even be an idea in my mind. And I remember my first event, I was so nervous about like, how's this gonna work? Like, it's dark, it's busy.
Was this at Apartment? The one at Apartment? Okay. Yeah.
And so I didn't even understand how it would work, but it was just like, hey, like again, I'm just gonna be confident. And the fact that not only was there a lineup outside to get in, but there was a lineup inside, like as I'm sitting doing someone's teeth, there was a lineup of people waiting. And I'm not going to lie, like that was just like, it changed something for me to realize like, yo, I have this impact. Like I never even realized that. And I also realized that when I started just hosting events Mondays with Will for a while.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Shout out to Miss Boys, man.
Yeah.
This is hard. Shout out to Miss.
No, that was fun for a while, but it wasn't until then where I realized, like, yo, if I'm bringing 80 people out or X amount of people, like, in a group event, I could 100% do this for myself and just book out the whole venue. Like,
hands down. Yeah.
So it wasn't until I put myself in new experiences where I realized what I'm capable of doing by trying new things. And now I'm like, okay, this worked. Why don't I do it as a Sylvismiles event? Okay, this worked. Why not a vendor at this kind of event?
Yeah.
And I kind of just go from there.
You took a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. What's next?
A lot of things, hopefully. But yeah, like I said, I want to continue doing events, even if people book me for birthdays, corporate events. Like, it's something you leave with and people are like, oh, where'd you get that done? And for people to be like, oh, I got that done at so-and-so's party. Like, I think that's really good for them as well. Yeah. But yeah, definitely to be more global and definitely change from like a service more to a product.
We're going to be talking. We're going to be talking for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I always like to ask this question when it comes to entrepreneurship, because of course you've learned a lot of things throughout the years. Is there anything you would have done differently up until now for Sylvismiles, or is there anything you would have changed or went about a different way that you would have avoided, or would you kind of went on the same path?
That's actually a really good question. I feel like in the sense of like taking myself more seriously. Right? Like not treating it as just like a side hustle and like being very casual about it. But when I realized like, okay, this is a business and to act accordingly, because my main point of communication was through Instagram, right? So it's like I realized people aren't going to treat me like a business if I don't move that way. So it'd be weird when it's like clients messaging me at like 2 a.m. and like expecting replies and like question marks when you're not answering. And it's like, okay, because I've set that tone where I've communicated them first, maybe past 5 p.m., let's say. But it's like the more I took myself more seriously and acted like a business, that's when I was going to be seen as one. And I wish, honestly, even now, like to have kind of a team, like I said, because entrepreneurship, it's not only meeting with the clients, booking, buying the supplies, answering DMs, posting, thinking of content, thinking of photo shoots, reaching out to influencers, creating a list. Like it's a lot. I'm not even going to lie. Like some people might even, you know, be able to say like there were times where I've neglected answering a couple DMs and like because I'm just overwhelmed or
it happens. It happens. Yeah, there's times where you can't have your hands in everything. You have to delegate certain things. And I've understood that here at the Gifted Gap too, where there's different positions that I can't do.
Yeah.
You know,
and being able to admit that, and that's fine.
That's
like,
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't have a million hands, you know, and I think that's an important part of starting a business or starting a brand or any type of pursuit. Like you have to have a team. I think the team is one of the most important parts of what you're trying to do, right? Is that what you're doing right now?
So at the moment, I'm still kind of doing everything myself, but with a lot of help from friends.
Yeah.
And I kind of put together like, what is it do I need?
Yeah.
To get to this next step, right? Like if I want to be global, there's no way I could do this all by myself.
Hell no.
So it's like, what is it do I need and where can I find those kind of people, kind of creating a plan. But yeah, I'd say I wish I honestly had a team from earlier on and like I would say took myself more seriously earlier on.
Yeah. I want to ask, like, you know, you've been, a lot of your success has came from your community, has came from your circle. How important has mentorship been to you? Because like you said, you have people like fresh in your corner, people that are connecting you with different other people. I think for me personally, a lot of times mentorship is one of the most important things when starting a business. You have to surround yourself with people that have been through what you've been through, have a successful track record of what you've been through.
Yeah.
Because you can't just surround yourself with just anyone.
Yeah.
A lot of people confuse mentorship with just being around anyone. There's a lot of
someone
bums.
that's older than you.
Yeah, someone that's
like,
older than you. There's a lot of people that are older than me that I consider sons. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm serious. But I think a lot of times you have to be around people that have a proven track record of that.
Yeah.
You know, age does not
they
define
have to
your
be
value.
where you want to be, right? If you've already accomplished more than them or they're not where you want to be, then you can't be taking advice from them.
You can't. So I want to ask, like, how important was that to you or what value does it have with you?
Major. Honestly, major. Because like I said, I had no idea what I was doing. Didn't even know entrepreneurship was a thing. From my like community in Aurora, like through my parents, family, friends. Don't smirk like that.
I'm just laughing.
Anyways, it was all people that like, also like even my friend group, like all my closest family friends, they all knew what they wanted to do and there was a straight path, right? Like nursing, law, doctor, like engineer, like you finish this program, pass this test, and then you're in the field. So there is no straight line.
Yeah, there's no straight line. And I had this discussion with my friend because a lot of times when you're talking to people that are in those pursuits, like they said, they get their degree.
It's step by step.
They're done. You know what I mean? There's really nothing else after that.
Yeah.
With what we're trying to do, especially as brands and businesses, there is no, you reach this point, okay, you're
never done.
You're never done.
Made it.
You never made it. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes it's looked down upon, right? When you don't have this solidified, this guaranteed job, that a role that you have. Like, oh, you're still chasing that? Yeah, I'm still chasing this shit.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Let me go and chase
and
this.
That's the thing, like seeing through Fresh, like him being a mentor to me, like he did Toronto Fashion Week, then he created shoes with Puma. It's like all these accomplishments, and then he's still not done, and he's still going, and he's still going. So that was like so motivating. And honestly, like mentorship is also hard in the sense of like, because they're above you and they know more, it's like you have to be able to be teachable and for someone to tell you they know more. And it used to bother me when people were like, yeah, you should do this with someone. I'm like, okay, like, don't tell me what to do with my own brand, you know? But then you actually realize, like, okay, no, like, I really don't know anything, and it's good to be taught. And, yeah, I think that changed everything for me, because every time till now when I see them, like, oh, like, how's this going? Like, I'm so proud of you doing this. Like, what about this? Like, or if I am stuck and don't know what to do, I would always call them up. Yeah.
I think the most successful people, and this is my theory within the city, the most successful people have a level of humility to them.
Oh, for sure.
They're not people pleasers, or they're not like timid about what they're doing.
Yeah.
but there's a sense of humility knowing that they don't know it all. They're confident in what they do, but they don't know everything. And they're willing to accept.
Be teachable.
You need to be teachable.
Yeah.
And it's like I've had conversations with some very, very prominent people, and they're like, I'm still not even where I want to be. Like, I don't know it yet.
And you, like, your mind is blown. You're
and
like,
your mind
what?
is blown. But
like,
then I'll have
then
I'll have other conversations with people that are just there, and they think they're on the top of the world.
Yeah.
And I noticed that trend, and I noticed that it's important to have these type of discussions because we don't know it all. Mm-hmm. We literally do not know it all.
Even in the beginning, I would find like it wasn't staying on long enough, or things were changing. Like, and my friend that's in dentistry, I would ask her all the time. I'm like, hey, why did this happen? Like, can you show me this? Like, even though, you know, she had that like straight path and she knows what she wants to be doing, I would always ask her all the time, even though she was younger than me too, actually. That
speaks a lot to you, who you are, you know what I mean?
I was like, hey, I don't know why this keeps happening, blah, blah, blah. Like, can you tell me what to use instead? Or does the light need to be on longer? Whatever it is.
Yeah, that's big, man. That's big.
Yeah.
Whew. Wow. No, I didn't know that there's this much that goes into what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's important.
Because it looks fun. It is fun. That's the thing too. I love it. It's so my personality. Like,
I'm telling you, it fits exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Even like my friends that have known me since I was a kid, it's just like, this is the most you thing you could be doing. Mm. And that's why even when I kind of try to like run away from it and like look for security, and I'm like, this could be fun on the side. Yeah. It's just everything is pointing me back to like, okay, no, like put your all in this. Because I was just realizing, I'm like, if I'm putting like 9 to 5, like all those hours into another company, another startup, like putting that same amount of hours into myself, I would be so far.
Be super far. But again,
but it's taking that risk on yourself.
It's going to take a risk, but there's going to be some days where you're just eating. Like, you're just on the ground. Like, you're going to struggle for a bit, for sure. Yeah. I think everyone has been through that, you know. It's
still scary. Like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be at all. Oh. And, like, the idea of where I want to be is, like, so big that it's scary. And I'm like, is it even like there's that self-doubt, and then there's that
imposter. It should scare you. Yeah. It should scare you. I think there's a problem if your dreams or goals don't scare you.
That's true.
I think you're settling too low.
But I think a lot of people don't even talk about like the whole imposter syndrome, right?
That's a real
Everyone's
thing.
Like, yo, you're so cool. You're doing this. You're doing that. Good on you. Like, blah, blah. And you're like, yo, I
haven't even done anything yet. Yeah. Yeah. I realize that. No, 100%. But your perspective on yourself looks different than other people's perspective on yourself. Right. I think we're our own worst critics.
For sure.
We're our hardest judges. So when talking about imposter syndrome, that's something I struggle with too as well. Like I'm in certain rooms, I'm like, I don't even belong here. But when I really kind of recollect, I'm like, nah.
But it's like, I am here though.
Like, nah, I'm here though. I'm here for a reason.
Here,
you know what I mean? I'm in this room for a reason. Yeah. You're in the right rooms for a reason.
Yeah.
Right?
That's so true.
Do you struggle with that?
Oh, 100%. Because I think I'm like, oh, okay, like all this time I've wasted. Or you find like a brand that's been around like for a less amount of time than you. Or, people will 100% like, you know, speak so highly of me to me. And I'm like, I feel like compared to everything I want to do, I've only done like a drop of the work. But they don't know that. And I'm like, you know what? Like, everyone has a different timeline. It could take years for a brand or company to blow up, or even if it takes a couple months. It's all about, like I said, not rushing. Because if I want it to be a certain way, I could rush the product, release it, and then it flops because it's not
worst experience
done well.
And then you have that regret thinking, okay, I should have took my time with this. I think any type of, and that's the thing with creating art, because what you're doing is artistic. You're creating art. You can't rush that.
Right.
You have to take your time. You can't force it either. You know, sometimes creativity runs out, so you have to just, sit back.
Yeah. I think too, like, your mental health directly correlates with your work.
Facts.
So it's like, if I'm just exhausted, like throughout the whole pandemic, the whole imposter syndrome, not having security also takes a toll on you. Like you said, like wanting to be able to plan things in advance, this trip and this month, and it's like, I generally don't know from now till then what's going to happen. Is scary, but you kind of have to motivate yourself. And that's where, again, mentorship in your circle comes into play. But I think the biggest thing is taking care of yourself sometimes. And that's why you can't rush your art, because if you're not feeling up for it, you can't produce anything that's up to the standard that you want.
No, that's facts. You hit it right on the nose. That's facts. Shit, man. So dropping gems right now. Okay, dropping gems are more than just.
Are you done?
More than just teeth. Shit. This has been a good conversation. I feel like fuck. I don't even want to wrap this up. Like, we're over time right now. Jeez.
It didn't even feel like it.
I
at
didn't
all.
feel like that. It's
Yeah.
been 40 minutes.
That's insane.
I know that. Red Cup's hidden.
Listen, tequila pineapple is my go-to.
Yo, shout out my boy, man. Shout out my boy Unknown. That guy's fucking put me on that mix.
Oh,
Tough.
brother.
Tough. It's been a problem ever since I moved.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of good moments, a lot of bad moments, but we rolling with it. Can't complain. Helped me through a lot. So,
That's
yeah. Before we wrap this episode up, do you have any last words, words of advice, things that you're doing coming up? I know you talked about your events you have this week.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I would say, in terms of just being confident in yourself, taking care of yourself, and yeah, no one's gonna really believe in you if you don't. And especially as women, I think women in business not being taken seriously a lot. You have to be confident, because people are just gonna see you as like, I don't know, they're gonna put you in a box of whatever labels they have of you already, but not letting that kind of get to you and just like proving people wrong. Because I think even till now, even though it's like, oh, it's 2022, like as women, you do have to like show that you're more serious to get yourself in the same rooms.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing, just that confidence, not letting imposter syndrome really get to you, and surrounding yourself with that mentorship, being teachable still, recognizing what you need, like what's missing and what you need, like all those things are so important.
How has that challenge been for you as a woman starting your own business been in? Because you're, like you mentioned, you're in certain rooms. Of course, like I'm a firm believer in pretty privilege. I think it's a real thing. I think it does help.
So it works
but
both
it
ways.
works both ways.
Because that's the thing. Some people will just see you as like a dumb, pretty face. And you're like, okay, but I do have service. Like I do have a huge idea, especially when you want to speak with investors and you're asking for a big amount of money. And they're like, okay, like, what do you know? Essentially, they'll just see you as like, oh, all you do is go out and party. Like you're just a pretty girl that parties type of thing. A lot of people will see you as that. And even like some people, like men that try to get at you and then they can't, and then they use your business. I know so many women can relate to this. They'd be like, oh, how much is your service? But like, I'm not answering you for how long? And then you're like, oh, how much is this service? Or how much is whatever? Or like, they use that to slide. I'm like, yo, like.
So they went from scheduling a date to scheduling a business date.
An appointment or something. I'm like, please.
That's crazy.
Like, or you have an appointment and you're trying to do someone's teeth and then they try to move to you after and you're like, this is a service. Like.
This is a real thing.
All the time. All the time.
So, I mean, like, on your end, there's nothing you can really do to stop that.
Yeah, I guess it would just be,
Is there?
Yeah, right? Because, of course,
You're
I'm a
yourself.
friendly person.
Yeah,
exactly.
you're outgoing.
But it was really, like, unfortunate. Like, me and my friend were having this conversation. There was a time where I was like, oh, okay, like, this person's helping me out. And I was like, yo, like, I feel like there's an ulterior motive here, and if I curve them, I'm not going to get these opportunities. And she's like, that's so messed up that you even have to think that way. But, yeah, so I guess you could say you could use pretty privilege to your advantage in some cases, but I don't think that'll work in the long run. You don't want to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. But, yeah, I would say just as a woman, being confident and just, you know, when it comes to confidence, they're not going to mess with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, because there's a certain element of seriousness that people have to have with you.
Exactly. Like, even if you're too friendly and you notice things are, like, crossing a line, it's like, okay, well, this is a service and I'm done. I'm going to go now. Like,
yeah, I'll keep it a buck. There's been instances of people wanting to come on this podcast. By people, I mean girls that are on,
they just want to talk to you.
They just want to talk to me.
Yeah.
And it's strange, because I'm like, I run this as a business. This
exactly.
Is
it feels
I'm
like, hey, you don't
with.
take me seriously.
You don't take me seriously. You just want to
yeah,
you know. You feel me? It's different now. And I'm sure you can relate to that, because it's almost annoying in a sense.
100%.
It's almost like you're discrediting
where it's like,
what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I have so much more to offer than just like my appearance or whatever it is.
Exactly. I think the biggest compliment is something that's not on face value.
Exactly.
You know? And yeah, that's something I think a lot of people struggle with that. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And yeah, I'm glad you brought up that point. That's some valid shit right there.
Yeah. Well, when they use your business to move to you,
tough system.
No.
Is it through the DMs or in person?
No, both. I'm like,
condolences.
Okay.
My condolences.
But yeah, instead of like, you know, trying to make other people in the room comfortable and like being timid about it and like kind of letting things slide so you can get XYZ opportunity, like none of that.
Yeah, none of that. It's all integrity at the end of the day. I think how you get something is more important than when you get something.
And even when you do the right thing and, like, you know, you're sticking to your moral code, people will still say X, Y, and Z. People will think, oh, you must have
did that with this person.
You know, with this person to be able to do their teeth. You must have, like, oh, if you have, like, NBA clientele, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you even trying to, you know what I mean? They discredit you regardless. So
that's just how people naturally think. It's the assumptions that, and it's prevalent in Toronto as well, too. There's a lot of, as good as Toronto is, it also has its downsides too. And I've talked about this on past episodes, but all in all, it's a very supportive community. Like 100%, you have at Sylvie, you know,
at least in my experience, I can never say Toronto's not supportive.
I see it firsthand, and it's great to see as well too. It's amazing to see. Will I be at AM/PM next week? I don't know.
So is it real support?
Yo, that's
No,
not the guilt shame. Damn, that's crazy.
And then we're gonna get pizza at Bar Poet on Saturday.
That's crazy. Not the guilt shame. Yeah, I don't work Saturday. We'll see. This is my last week at the job, so yeah.
So
honestly,
we'll celebrate at AM/PM.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
On that note, so it's been a good episode, and we out.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, shit.
That was so fun.
Dude, yeah, no, that was fun.